Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a tool review on a Bauer cordless tool. I just want to preface this video with a couple of things. This video is long overdue. Harbor Freight did send this tool to me back maybe 6 or 8 months ago, something like that. I haven't had it quite a year and I haven't made a review on it. And that's because if you follow my channel, you know that I try to give most of the tools that I review some time with them. And in hindsight, I probably should have just done some kind of an initial review thing, kind of like what I'm going to do today, because I just haven't really had a lot of projects to do with this thing. I have done a few projects with it, and you'll see some of those throughout this video, but really small things. I've not nailed down every baseboard in the house yet or anything like that. So no real big projects with it, but I can tell you, it is an extremely handy tool, very nice, and I'm super pumped to have it. Anyway, let's get into the actual review. All right, guys, so just to start off, where I always start off my cordless tool reviews at is down here at the battery. We'll talk about the 1.5 amp hour battery. These batteries I pretty much deemed as more or less useless in a lot of the tools, and that's true. I actually think this is a tool that doesn't do half bad with these 1.5 amp hour batteries. Again, I've not used this tool quite enough to really say for sure because I've not done big projects like I said. But we'll just move forward. They have this belt clip here. Looks like it'd go on a tool belt pretty easily. Nice right in the middle, pretty well balanced if I had to say so. Nice rubberized overmolding here, and then just good high quality plastic. The plastic on these Bauer tools might not be up to like professional grade, you know, your Milwaukee and DeWalt type of plastics, but definitely good enough. It does the job. Good quality. I don't know how well this thing would work if you dropped it from 10-15 feet in the air doing crown molding or something like that, but I do think it's going to be a pretty durable tool, at least externally. So here on the tool you have this switch, and this is your activation switch. Basically you have two settings. You have one setting the furthest forward toward the nose of the gun. This is a single action. I don't really remember the terms they use for it, but basically you just set it down. The workpiece contact has to be all the way set in, and then you pull the trigger and it'll drive a nail. So now if you set the switch to the other side, it now will work on contact with the contact piece. So basically you just pull the trigger and then you just push down and it starts driving nails. You got to make sure you put good pressure on it or you might get a little one sticking up there like I have. But as long as you keep that nose pushed in pretty well, it'll work. So I don't want to drive too many more nails into this table. But let's talk about some of the other features. Basically, you can make this adjustment and it adjusts this little knob. It'll adjust how deep the nail goes in. So if it's not going deep enough, you can make the adjustments here. This is more shallow this way and then deeper this way. And then up here in the handle, there's this little button with the LED lights. You pretty much always push it when you've got your hand on the grip to pull the trigger. It's just kind of right there in a good spot for it, but it does have a nice LED. And the loading tray or the magazine here, it's supposed to hold 105 nails, and it'll hold anywhere from 3/4 to 2-inch 18 gauge brad nails. So I pretty much just put one sleeve in it. And again, I've not done a ton of work with this thing, but probably just enough to tell you that I like it so far. So I've got a couple scrap pieces of wood here. We're going to put a bunch of nails in them and just kind of check it out. All right, again, just a couple of scrap pieces of 2x4. They're very small, but they're pretty much the best pieces I had lying around. So clearly 2x4s are not exactly what this thing is intended to drive nails into. You're mostly looking at like cabinetry and kind of baseboard and trim work, but I just want to see how well it'll drive it through these 2x4s. Just out of curiosity, there's 2-inch nails in it, so it's pretty much the max that this thing is limited to. So let's go ahead and start driving some nails. Whoops. See, I've got two that are sticking up a little, you know, pretty high. Maybe a couple of others that aren't as deep as I'd like them to go. But man, I mean, This thing's supposed to put in 60 nails a second or something, or a minute, I mean. So basically you can drive a nail every second. You know, these are the kind of tools, in my opinion, that make a tool line. You know, you can have drills, you can have angle grinders, you can have reciprocating saws and skill saws and things like that. But if you're not coming out with not only, I mean, brushless tools are definitely important too, which they're coming out with nowadays. But if you don't have these side tools like these, like this Brad Nailer or the tire inflator or the hot glue gun or the angle drill, and the heat gun and tools like that, that's when it becomes a serious contender and a legitimate tool line. And Harbor Freight is definitely doing an awesome job in general, I would say, with the Bauer tools. And this Brad Nailer is no different. Super pumped to have it. It's a pretty nice tool. It's been really good and reliable. It's just a pretty good nail gun all the way around. Not perfect, but definitely a really nice addition to the Bauer tool line. Thanks everyone for watching. If you could give this video a big thumbs up if you haven't already. And as always, go down, click subscribe. Helps me out. I really appreciate it. We'll see you in the next video.